Hey everyone, it's Kelsey from Literary Gladiators, and I'm here today to do the Unpopular Opinion Book Tag. The first question is to name a popular book or series you don't like. So in some circles, this book is very popular and everybody loves it, and in others, not so much. Like, I know I can definitely find people who hate this book just as much as I do, but I also know a lot of people that are diehard in love with it. So I chose Catcher in the Rye, which I feel like anytime there's a question about a book you don't like, I always choose Catcher in the Rye. And it's not because the book is badly written or it doesn't have good symbols or anything like that. I just hate Holden Caulfield. He's so whiny and so annoying, and he is the most unlikable character. And most of the time when characters are really sad and stuff like that, I read a lot of teen literature, so I know all about sad teenagers. But with Holden Caulfield, I don't feel any sympathy for him. He just bothers me. So the second one is popular book or series everyone hates but you love. So this has probably shown up a lot in these unpopular opinion book tags, but Twilight. I started reading Twilight when I was maybe 12, and it was the first book that I ever binge read. I went and I got Twilight and I read, I picked it up in the store, and I just remember reading that first paragraph and just falling in love and being I think I was at the bookstore with my grandma actually, and I was like, Grandma, you have to buy me this. So she bought me the book, and I went home and I read it, and then I was like, Mom, you have to take me to Barnes & Noble so I can get the next book. And, I even went out at, midnight the day that Breaking Dawn was getting released at Barnes & Noble, and I went and I got it, and and I read it all through the night, and I finished it the next day, and even though I recognize that it doesn't have a lot of literary merit, and maybe there's some problems with the relationship that's in Bella and Edward's relationship. It doesn't change the experience that I had with it and the love that I have for it. As far as the movies go, I hate the movies. I think the movies ruined everything. But I really enjoyed the books, and they hold a special place in my heart because it was that first book that I really got obsessed with, and and that's what got me into reading a lot of series and things like that. So another one I wanted to add was that a lot of people I talk to absolutely hate Mockingjay, and I didn't hate it. I wasn't besides for the obvious reasons, everybody hates it because of that, but I didn't hate it because it was poorly written or anything like that, or I liked it. I was everybody's oh, the third one was horrible, and I was I didn't get that vibe. Number 3, a love triangle where the person ended up with who you didn't want them to end up with, or an OTP you don't like. I choose Katniss and Peeta because, as you'll find out in a later question, I do not like Katniss. Katniss is so horrible to those boys, and she is portrayed in the movies specifically to be troubled teen, doesn't know what to do with her feelings or whatever, and not that bad. But in the book, she's horrible. She is so mean to Peeta. She leads both Peeta and Gale on. She's just mean. Maybe she's a great heroine for girls to look up to or whatever, but she is mean to those boys, and that's messed up. And I actually really like Peeta, and I think Peeta deserves better. So yeah, Katniss and Peeta, because Peeta needs to move on, find somebody better, and I don't even care what happens at the end of Mockingjay. He still needs to move on. I don't care. The next one is a popular book genre you hardly reach for. So I came up with 2. One was science fiction. I do read a lot of dystopian, and I know that's sometimes categorized as science fiction, but I don't like science fiction that's just robots and stuff. Just science fiction that's very space-based, or futuristic in a space kind of way. I like post-apocalyptic kind of dystopian stuff, but when things are set in space and things like that, it doesn't do anything for me. Also novels that are only romance based, there's no other plot line. It's just, oh, these two people are in love with each other, or these two teenagers are in love with each other. I'm No, I don't care. Like, I want the world to be ending while that's happening. Like, sure, they can fall in love and it'll be awesome, but, like, the world should be ending, or, like, they should be trying to find out some, like, secret or something. Like, anything. Just don't make it just about them being in love, because it's boring. So, number 5, a beloved character that you don't like. Which was funny, because when I tried to Google, I was Googling, like, beloved characters, just to get, like, ideas of, like, who people really like and try to come up with my answer. It only gave me, a list of characters from the Toni Morrison novel, Beloved, so I just thought that was funny, so I'd share that. And like I stated before, I don't like Katniss. When I told my boyfriend that's who I was choosing, he was like, wait. And, like, we haven't gotten a chance to talk about it yet, but he was, like, really surprised, and I didn't know he was, like, a Katniss person. But I really don't like her. And I remember walking out of the first movie and being so angry that they portrayed her as, like, a nice person. Like, that she wasn't, as horrible as she is in the books, because she's so horrible. She's so mean. And, like, I get that she's just, like, playing the game that she wants to, and she's looking out for her family, and, like, whatever, but, like, she's so mean to Peeta. And she is, like, pretty mean to Gale, too. And I'm just like, no. So I don't like her. Okay, number 6. An author you can't get into. I chose Ernest Hemingway. Granted, I've only read a few of his short stories, but, like, and I've had my professors explain to me, like, why they're so amazing and everything, and I'm just like, I don't get it. Like, there's a disconnect between me and Hemingway, and, like, I get why he's renowned, and I get why everybody loves him, but, like, I was just like, this short story's not doing anything for me. It's kind of boring. Like, I don't really get why this is amazing. Like, I read Hills Like White Elephants, and I don't get it. Like, it wasn't badly written or anything. It's not that... I'm looking at a lot of these questions from a standpoint, like, it's not that they're badly written, or not that, like, maybe the plot lines or, like, the idea behind it isn't good, just, like, when I read it, it didn't wow me. And that's what I'm looking for when I'm reading. I want something to wow me. So 7, popular book trope you're tired of seeing. Okay, I'm definitely tired of seeing when you open a book and you go to the flap and you start reading the little summary that's there, and it's always, she had it all until, or, her family was perfect, her boyfriend was perfect, she was popular in school, and then this happened. I think If I Stay starts out like that, and I didn't read If I Stay because every time I picked it up, I would read the inside flap and be like, ugh. But I did end up reading If I Stay because the movie was coming out, and I really wanted to see the movie, and the trailer was really good, so I wanted to read the book before I went and saw the movie. I actually ended up liking the book, but just, like, when I read that description, it just turns me off, because I'm like, why do I care about, like, I don't know, it just bothers me, especially if it's not, like, if it's just, like, oh, this girl had it all until, like, one day her boyfriend breaks up with her, like, something stupid like that. And it just doesn't intrigue me, it bores me, it's just it's kind of like the whole, like, romance novel thing. It's just like, give me more than that. And then I also don't like the weird girl trope, which is, like, everywhere. Just like, oh, this girl, she thinks she's so weird, blah, 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 but then this boy comes by and he's like, oh, but you're cool, and she's like, oh my god, I'm cool, and it's all fine. That's a lot of what the romance novels are like for teen literature right now, so not for me. 8, a popular series you have no interest in reading. So I was having a hard time with this because it's not, like, there's a lot of series that I don't feel like I'll get around to, but I really like series, so I feel like most of the time if somebody's like, oh my god, you have to read this series, like, I'll read it. And I'm not really, like, up on the times right now because, like, since I'm in college, I'm just reading, like, what's, like, for my curriculum, and it's all classics and things like that. So it's all, like, if I take a young adult literature class, then I'll definitely probably be more up on, like, what series are, like, hot right now. But as of right now, I'm just, like, I would say that I don't want to read The Maze Runner. I had started reading it, and I remember going to the movie and seeing, like, the first 10 minutes of the movie, which was the first couple pages that I read and being like, wow, this is really spot on. I like remember it happening exactly like this. But I really, really liked the movie, and I was really into the movie, so I don't feel like I would need to read the books because I like the movie so much. And it's kind of like sometimes I get into that thing where I'm like, oh wow, I like this movie so much that I don't want to read the book and find out the movies suck. So, but if somebody was just like, oh my gosh, you have to read the books, like they're so much better, you'll be so impressed, then I'd probably go ahead and read them if I had time. But I wanted to change this into a popular author I have no interest in reading, and that's Freebo Rowell. She wrote Fangirl, and I can't remember the name of the other one, like Eleanor and Park, I think it's called, and so I run a teen volunteer program during the summer, and they're like, oh my gosh, these books are amazing. I hear like her praises are always sung, but like I continuously read like the summary, or like I tried to read the first couple pages, and like the storyline for Eleanor and Park, like I'm just like, no, that's like exactly what I'm not looking for. Like, oh, weird boy, weird girl, they fall in love, how magnificent. No. I don't care. There might be something that I'm missing that's not in that, like, in those first couple pages or in that front flap, but the front flap is really important because that's what pulls you and makes you want to push past just those first couple pages. So, yeah, she needs to start writing better, summaries, because if she doesn't, I'm never going to read a book because the summaries are just not what I'm looking for. But I'm glad that a lot of the teens that I know really do like her. That's great for her. And then finally, 9. What movie or TV adaptation do you prefer more than the book? So my first response to this was just like, that's not possible. I really did rack my brain, and I was like, is there a movie or a TV show that I like more than the book? And honestly, every movie that I've seen that I've also read the book for, every TV show that I've seen that I've also read the book for, the book is always miles better. Like there has never been a movie that's better than the book, ever. I know some people say like the Notebook movie is better than the book and things like that, but like I didn't read the book, so I don't really have any opinions on that. But I wanted to say that I did really like Perks of Being a Wallflower, the movie adaptation. I thought it was like one of the best movie adaptations I've ever seen, and I really enjoyed that. Yeah, so, but like, if I ever find a movie that's better than the book, I'll let you know, but thus far, in my 21 years on this planet, and like, the billions of books that I've read, a movie has never been better than the book, and I'm excited for the day that happens. I will be very impressed, and I will sing that movie's praises, I promise. Also, I really like the Great Gatsby movie, but I think that's just like, because everybody's in love with Leonardo DiCaprio, and he makes a great Gatsby. There has never been a movie that is better than the book, and that's just what I'm going to leave it at. So, I hope you like this book tag. I really enjoyed it. I definitely encourage anybody who's watching this to go and do it, and until next time, keep reading.